is winning the dice roll, I believe. I would assume they would elect to go first. Let's see what the Dragon Link end field is going to be.
Yeah, he did actually go second a couple of times.
Really?
Against Mekanko, but probably not against Infernoble.
No, I would be too terrified to go second against Infernoble.
His hand looks pretty strong from what I could see, starting with Rebellion, and I saw the Rocket Tracer.
Yes. So we'll see what else is within the hand. Unfortunately, don't see a Drawn Lock Bird following this. Let's hope that there are some types of disruption.
Starlish Safer.
Yeah, Safer is pretty formidable, I would say.
I find it somewhat very hard to interrupt Dragon Link because they can always turn the monster on the field into links or synchros, which
Ash Blossom and Joy Spring on the Safer. I think that's quite an important hit here as well.
Yeah.
Just stopping monsters from staying on the field and maybe even coming something like Striker Dragon. I think it's quite important.
Yeah, because it eats up the normal summon as well.
Exactly.
I mean, at worst for Curran, he's got the Magnum in hand, which he can turn into a Lubellion and get some good advantage, but not much interruption.
You might have to banish the Safer though with this Magma, which is not ideal because you can use the Safer to add a card from his graveyard, but he's deciding to banish it with Magma.
Unlikely to summon back this Lubellion now, and what would you expect? Would you expect regains?
Oh no, he's gone for another Bestial. Can we see Erratic King of Asan?
I love this guy. He's so cool.
And Permanence as well.
I'm proud of you for the reaction there. It's quite high impact there. It feels almost as if whenever you go for a Twim in this deck, it feels like it's a last-ditch effort, right?
From how Karan was playing, it did look like he was trying to put whatever he had into making sure he can keep playing.
It was very all in, wasn't it?
And he is now in his end phase, I believe, resolving Bestial Magma's effect.
Because that was a bit of a gambit. Like, he could have tributed the Magnum, summoned Lubellion, and then got the branded regained, and then banished the Magnum, drawn a card, and gone into seal. So this was obviously a much more aggressive line, right? He could have ended up with a lot more cards with this line, but obviously it was the high risk, high reward line, and it got the risky side rather than the rewarding side happened.
So Heritage to Chalice here resolving. No Drawn Lock Bird in sight.
Now starting strong. One of the best cards you can open up with.
Yeah, I was amazed when I read this card that it's got a second effect in the graveyard. It's like a search any Infernoble and then it has a bonus effect.
Oh, probably the best 2-card opening you can get with the deck.
I would say so. So gonna go for Renaud here, add back the Gearfried. Let's see if there's any form of equip spell in circulation, just to try and aid in getting that Gearfried down as soon as possible.
So they can always go into Isolde here, and that's exactly what
it could be the Synchro, which I forget the name of briefly.
Angelica.
Angelica, that's the one. But so I guess if you don't have an equip spell to follow up Angelica, then it's not so strong.
Adding the uppercutter here as it's a 1-card combo for the next follow-up turn, and it's not something that's going to be utilised here either.
What's great about this is that it plays around Nibiru, because he summons 2 monsters, the Isolde, the monster you'll summon off of Isolde, and the Gearfried in his hand.
Oh, I see, yeah, Gearfried's going to come down now.
So this is going to summon back the OG.
Oh, we're already at 5 now, then.
Yeah, we're definitely at 5 now. I think if there is a Nibiru, I think this is probably the best spot. However, I think at the same time, Karan loses a lot if...
and there is the Nibiru.
If the seal.
I think they might have not. I think they should have played around it, if I'm honest.
Well, when does Gearfried's negate become active? I thought it had to have an equip.
Yes, it has to be an equip on the field as well, and it has to remove an equip spell from the graveyard as well. So it's quite a hefty restriction, I'd say.
So it wouldn't have been active
if they decided to send more equip spells and not summon a level 1.
Yes, yeah, could have even gone for the uppercutter itself instead of adding it off of the Isolde. Maybe go for the uppercutter just to put the equip spells in the graveyard.
Does Mel run like 4 equips with different names? That's quite a big ask.
That is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4.
There are 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Mel might have been happy getting the bird there.
Yes,
starting off with the museum, it looks like they have more they can still play.
Yeah, so let's see where the rest of this goes. So Durandal can add another card. The Oliver does become a tuner whilst on the field, and if you summon it with its own effect, it's a level 1 as well, which might be important for some possible lines.
How do you summon it with its own effect?
You send either a Fire Warrior or an equipped spell from the hand to the graveyard.
Oh, that's pretty easy, isn't it?
Especially with the Phoenix Blade in circulation now as well.
Phoenix Blade is such a cool card. It just feels like it's Isolde's best friend.
Yes. It feels like almost like infinite value there.
Like, I feel like if it wasn't for the Phoenix Blade, like Isolde would be such a worse card.
Oh, I really like the play here. So equipping the Ogier and then using Museum to summon it out because you've used the first effect to search. Really strong here. Then getting a second Museum, and as we know, it's not once per turn.
I can't believe this card is not once per turn. It's so powerful.
Comfortably play around this Nibiru.
Playing through the Nibiru.
There's even potential for this to lead to maybe even an OTK line. Summoning the Roland out here, I'm going to send a monster from the deck to the graveyard as well. Turpin, an extender when there's an equipped spell in the spell and trap card zone.
Here we go for the Museum, round 2.
Not being once per turn.
This card is phenomenal. Honestly, when we were discussing it earlier and realizing it's just not once per turn, and seeing all of the different lines that can be taken and utilizing it.
I've never really got my head around the theme of the museum, because I thought the cards were all like Noble Knights, and then this is now we're transported to the future in a museum where all the swords are in the future. Like, I was a bit confused, but it is definitely a powerful card. You can't argue with that. I mean, I suppose Isolde is like the tales, isn't it? It's like a story, but I don't know. Maybe I need to check out my lore a bit more.
So the Joyce being equipped to the Nibiru token then. Now summoning the Charles from the extra deck. I think there is potential for this game to just be ended here, in all honesty.
Yeah, meaning like linking the Charles into a big Charles and then special summoning the Charles again just puts so much damage on the field.
That's already, what, 6,000 points of damage?
Yeah, and in combination with the Gearfried, that's 8,000.
What they can destroy.
Very well executed here by Mel.
And this should be enough, if I'm not wrong.
There's still a...
Luckily, the Gearfried can negate if needed.
Okay. I thought there might have been a Bestial on
Even if there was a Bestial.
Recursion from the Divine Phoenix Sword or Phoenix Blade.
I don't think I'd see it in Karan's list going first.
Maybe going second.
Maybe going second, we might see this lance here. Just a way to stop the gas of the Infernoble deck.
So let's see how they navigate this. Multiple Black Metal Dragons in the hand there as well, I think. But it's the best card to play into Drawn Lock Bird with.
Yes.
You get 2 searches for the price of 1.
Exactly. Can't ask for too much more than that.
I love the boot deck to launch. Just like, it's not the most powerful card. Like, there's no way you'd put it in your deck if it wasn't just freely searchable. But because it is, it just makes it this just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a really cool card because of that.
Karan also showing off his quarter century rare from the new Rarity collection. It does really look beautiful on this camera.
I am a very big fan of these quarter century rares. I think it might be a little bit of a new addiction, but yeah, I hope there's a little bit more, or a few more of them that we can see in the next few sets. Romulus here, just gaining more and more cards here, I think.
Has Mel got anything to stop this?
Definitely looks like they're thinking about it.
Impermanence.
How do you feel about the impermanence there? I'm a bit 50-50 on it. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I think it was a good point.
I do understand it.
It feels like there's a lot of times you can play it and it's going to do roughly the same amount no matter what you do, which is a little bit. I mean, maybe I'd prefer it on the Red Eyes Darkness just to take a monster off the field, which is arguably more important than
it just depends.
A monster sent to the grave, but maybe not.
I think it's very similar to hand trapping the Infernoble deck. Like, there are certainly points where you could imperm the Infernoble deck, but if they just have that one type of extender in hand, they just keep going.
Karan did flash us a Rocket Tracer, which he would be able to special summon with this boot sector launch. And I think that might be enough to get him going.
Just depends if he elects to make his spheres here, or if he wants to destroy the boot sector launch and look for a different line.
It does obviously, once you use the Rocket Tracer, you're locked into Dark Monsters, so there's no Hieratic Seal, for example, but maybe
think
that's enough.
It depends where he can go, really. But I think if there's only one interrupt that he can make, it being either like the Borrelen Dragon or the Seals, I think Seals feels more valuable, right?
Linking both the dragons into what I would believe is the Hieratic Seal.
Setting one.
This might be enough for Karan.
Do you think Infernoble is just a deck where you can bounce the normal summon and call it a day?
I think it's quite hard to decide because there are extenders there that are available, and you could see Mel here just dumping the Ricadesso as we saw earlier, yes, because you can remove itself from play to summon a warrior from the hand, or fire warrior from the hand.
Okay, so that's
Anticipating the seal effect.
Exactly.
So Karen's going to have to come up
Yeah,
with...
I do quite like this line of play. So you can see, I think they're going to go to the battle phase now.
Book of Moon.
Oh, I love that. That's a real blast from the past.
That
He doesn't
is-
have to waste his Hieratic
is
Seal.
true.
And Mel might already be in the battle phase.
Yes, agreed. So I think it's going to put them in a very, very weird situation now. Karan with 2 in hand. And that's the Battling Boxer Uppercutter, which is now going to add the Spara from deck to hand. I think Mel did have an Ash Blossom as well in the hand. So
Which would be great into the
It
seal
would be
graveyard
very
effect
good.
once it tributes itself.
let's see how this goes on.
DD Crow, which also works here. Since the Hieratic Seal is not in the graveyard, I don't believe it will trigger.
No.
Yeah, this is one of those like slightly confusing rulings, isn't it? Because a lot of the time, like, how does it work? DD Crow to stop your opponent activating effect in the graveyard, but yeah, because it gets banished in the same chain it gets tributed, by the time it wants to activate, it's not in the graveyard. But you obviously couldn't chain it to a card effect that was activating in the graveyard. DD Crow doesn't negate, you know.
Very well explained.
This flame is very strong here. However, the boot sector launch is just going to bring that Rocket Tracer straight out of the graveyard. So we'll have to see just where Karan can go with his turn.
Yeah, I mean, at minimum, he could destroy the boot sector and synchro up into a Boral Savage, but he might have more options than that.
Yes.
Any Bestial here will allow him to go into Bestial Dispatter, but from the way he played his turn 1, I don't think he has one.
I think his hand had Black Dragon Clap Serpent and a Black Nestle Dragon in. I'm not sure what the third and final card is, but I'm sure we might see that soon.
Deciding just to pop the boot sector launch with Rocket Tracer's effect. Now he is locked into Dark Monsters, so we will not be seeing Hieratic Seal again.
He is playing Dark Charmer, which you could see here to try to take that DD Crow out of the graveyard. And then just progress making Link monsters.
Since we're in such a simplified game state, I'm not against the Boral Savage Dragon.
No, I'm not. I think this is quite strong here. Being able to then normal summon, maybe even make a God Dragon Pisty. However, I think, is that the wrong zone for Pisty?
No, it's exactly right. Since he has the black metal in hand, he can normal summon it, make a Pisty in one of the arrows, and summon a triple burst dragon, and his Pisty will be able to special summon whatever he wants from the graveyard.
I can never remember which zone Pisty points to. Okay, it was the right one. I was a little bit fearful then, but... So we'll see this triple burst dragon come down. With the set from Mel, do you think that's going to be potentially a infinite impermanence?
Could be.
That's the read I would have.
They might have decided to set an equip spell to try and bluff another interrupt, which I do think is kind of smart if they have gone for that.
I mean, can't you use most of the equip spells?
Yeah, I think most of the equip spells help progress the game state.
Phoenix Blade?
Maybe the Phoenix, maybe not the Phoenix Blade. I don't think there's... Well, we'll see.
You're interested to see what you can summon back from the graveyard. There is a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon.
Yep. Oh, it's either in the grave or it's banished, but Pisty can get either.
I think I would personally take the seal, just to enable the Black Dragon in his hand.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Seal, you can't use its effect unless it's in the extra monster zone.
Yes, yeah. But I think just getting that light monster in the graveyard for the Black Dragon will just enable Karan to just keep developing.
Oh, I see. That's a nice interaction.
I think Mel thinking here.
It is in fact an infinite impermanence.
Is that a Tracer? I think that's
Yes.
a Tracer.
Tracer in the hand. However, unfortunately for Karan, how many seals is he playing?
Oh, he can't make a Seal because he's already used Tracer.
Oh, that is also true.
But there is the possibility maybe of just... Has he already normal summoned?
Yeah, he
he
normal
has.
summons the black
Okay.
metal.
So I
So
guess
it's just
Attack
doing
attack
some
with
piercing
us.
damage.
Does it do piercing damage?
Yeah, it does.
It has an effect when it attacks, does
In
it?
the battle phase, I think it has the ability to negate.
Yeah, it
a,
can negate something during the battle phase.
maybe
I
a monster
believe.
or spell attack?
Yeah. I think it's any card.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's a little bit of damage over there. Then I think the Pisty might do 1,000 damage also.
1,000. Yeah, I'm wondering maybe like if Access Code Talker wasn't something to consider here, just to do 4K rather than...
Yeah, well, you can't make anything else, right?
Oh no, you can't even make it because of the... No, but Pisty was negated.
Oh, that's true, actually.
It might be one of those things where it's not an effect you can negate though, the stopping you summon non-dragon monsters.
Yeah, I think it's a condition. I might be wrong.
A lot of cards have that kind of thing when their effect's negated. But you... Okay, so maybe between us,
Yeah.
they're just checking out now. Fortunately, we have judges for these sorts
Yeah.
of questions.
I believe it is. I might be wrong.
Pisty has an effect where you can only special summon dragon monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you control it.
But since it got infinite negated by infinite impermanence, Karan
Yeah.
can summon SP Lock Knight.
Yeah, there are a couple of cards that say like it's kind of part of the. It's just like a condition on the card rather than effect.
Yeah.
It is a little niche.
Complication, right? But it's there just so they can't be utilized in situations like this, I guess.
Did
but
Mel have an Ash Blossom?
I
in
did
their
see an
hand?
Ash Blossom as well, yeah.
Crazy to think that they haven't had a chance to activate it yet.
Yes, yeah. What is the attack stat on the uppercutter?
That's a good question.
Because the uppercutter could just... this is 1600, so that's the same as Little Knight, or was Little Knight 17? I can never
Yes,
remember.
Little Knight is 1600.
Can the like it can't banish anything now, or can it still?
And when I believe a card effect is activated,
Yeah, on summon it can, because
But
it's a different type of condition, I believe.
so current attack directly.
Yeah.
Does that mean he can still use Little Knight? I'm just wondering.
I
Like,
think for Little Knight it checks for the rest of the turn. I might be wrong here again,
Okay.
but
yeah, I was just wondering. Like, it's pretty minor, but he could have just banished something from
In his
Mel's
graveyard,
graveyard,
yeah.
right, yeah.
is that the Druid Swarm?
That is a Druid's Worm.
It
That
must
is
be their draw
devastating.
for turn. Which deals with the SP Little Knight.
yeah. Okay, that's quite devastating there. And then I think the uppercut is going to come down, followed by the Spara, and I think it's just...
So Spara, is it you cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you use it, or is it you can't attack for the rest of the turn? I mean, I'm guessing.
I think it was a directly.
Oh, you can't attack directly.
You cannot conduct your battle phase for the rest of this turn.
Oh, that's a really strange line of
It
text. But
is. I think Uppercutter came out in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy.
It's a very old-
It's a very old
When
one.
Tom Paine was still dominating in the UK.
I played against this deck in the national championships. I remember there was the lead
lead
yoke.
yoke, yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't destroy it. I was playing an Inferni deck, and I just couldn't kill it. I remember. It was wild.
Now we have an involved battling boxer in the form of King Dempsey. I think it has an amazing effect. Helps a lot for all the fire decks that we have right now.
I agree with that. So I think we should see the Dempsey detach the Spara shortly.
I'm a bit unfamiliar with the Infernoble. What do they usually search with the Dempsey?
Oh, it can add back from... I did not know that. I didn't know it could add back from move from play. So...
Is this the Roland?
Renaud, yeah.
Yeah, most of the Infernoble Knights are Fire Warriors, so Dempsey can search pretty much whatever you want.
So yeah, we're going to see the Isolde add the Gearfried. Very unlikely that it's going to be coming down here.
Does Gearfried, is it an effect to special summon it? Or is it? It is, okay,
yeah.
so you can't summon it if you add it with Isolde.
Unfortunately not. But I'm guessing in this line, Mel has just decided they're not going to be able to quite get there. Summoning 1, summoning a 5 Flint Lady. Oh, this is really nice. The 5 Flint Lady has bonus text. It can tribute itself to summon a warrior from the hand.
Oh, really?
So it can summon the Ricadesso from the hand to then reborn the Ogier and make Angelica.
That's really amazing.
It is. So here we are, it's just ongoing, and it's, I think, we know Karen unfortunately does not have anything to his disposal.
Yeah, it's looking quite dire with only having 2 cards in hand. Seeing your opponent combo off.
Karen just not really getting much going in either game.
No, unfortunately not.
Mel drawing quite decently.
Yeah.
But that's what the Infernoble deck does. Open some
It's
hand
what they've
traps.
designed their deck around as well, just trying to increase the amount of non-engine as much as possible, just to improve those odds.
Are you one of those players that like goes through the ratios? I've definitely heard players talk about it's like I run this many hand traps, I run this many engine cards, so you know I've gone through, crunched the numbers.
As a mathematician, I am one of those people.
You're one of you like it? Okay.
And that's his friend. I utilise that.
Yeah. Go, Marcus, go into the lab.
Get into the lab.
How many
Do
hand
it for
traps?
me.
I want a 30% chance of drawing 2 hand
But we're
traps.
seeing it right here with Mel, feeling very confident in their strategy.
So you might hate this, Tom. For UK Nationals last year, I increased my deck count to 41 to increase my hand trap ratio by 1, just to improve the maths on it.
There we go.
How do you stand by that?
That doesn't sound like any maths that I would approve of.
And we can see the Angelica using its effect.
Summoning the Roland and sending another card from the deck to the graveyard. Turpin being another fantastic extender here.
What is being banished now? Are we seeing the Phoenix Blade being added to the hand? So you can imagine after the Phoenix Blade is activated, will we see the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried on the field?
No, it was summoned back from it was added off the Isolde. However, the monster that just got removed from play requires an equip spell for it to be summoned. Just going through the motions here now, I believe.
Quickly synchro summoning into Roland and summoning
Into
the
Charles, and summoning Charles the Synchro to summon Charles the Great, to then summon out the Charles Synchro from the spell and trap card zone.
All the Charles.
All of the Charles.
We need more Charles, I think. There needs to be like a Charles XYZ
Yeah.
that you can make with the link somehow.
So what interruptions does Mel currently have on the field? I'm a bit unfamiliar with the Infernoble strategy.
Currently there is a spell and trap. There will be a spell and trap negates once there is a card in the equip spell zone.
Is this from the Link monster?
Yeah, so the Link Emperor Charles the Great is a spell trap negation. You can, during your opponent's turn, use the effect of the Synchro in the graveyard there. It's a quick effect, it can equip itself, and when an equip lands on the field while you have a Synchro Charles, you can destroy a card on the field as well. So there's 1 pop and 1 spell and trap negate, I think. I'm not sure what else there is. Oh, it looks like something else is going to happen.
Second Charles?
So this is really nice, as the Durenda will trigger to summon back a monster, I believe, from the graveyard. Then yeah, we're going to see the Little Knight come down, I will assume.
It being a warrior monster is really useful for this deck because I think one of the Infernoble cards locks you into only special summoning warriors.
A few of them do, but it gets rid of a lot of key cards that. Oh, sorry, it just helps you get there. And then in the end phase, the Morgus is going to be attached so that when one of the Charleses activates its effect to negate, you'll be able to shuffle back 3 cards into the deck to draw a card.
Oh, okay. There was quite a lot going on.
Yeah. Now, Druiswan being a fantastic draw for turn. So we'll see how Karan is able to try and tackle this again with limited cards in his hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Showing his hand.
The Nibiru draw for turn, very unfortunate there. But there we go. See, Infernoble once again take down this feature match.
Congratulations to Mel, but we do not know